Good evening. Thank you, everybody. Come to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Dr. Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. Scarito. Welcome, everybody. I do have a couple of updates. So I don't want to steal the principal's thunder since they're here tonight, but it's truly been an unbelievable opening to the new school year. Just tremendous excitement and energy, enthusiasm in all of our buildings. I look forward to hearing from Mr. Gagliardi and Dr. Reingold and Dr. DiMuzio in a few minutes with some building-specific updates. As always, a big thank you to our custodial staff and members of Buildings and Grounds who helped get our campus ready for day one. The buildings we did walk through the night before with the board, and the buildings look tremendous. There's still hard at work with different initiatives inside and outside the building, so thank you to them. I'm also happy to report that the high school tennis courts have received some much-needed TLC. The most recent project included efforts to fix cracks, other repairs, and then they were repainted, including new lines. They look just incredible, the before and after. Mr. Tasman, Mr. Butler worked with Mr. Arnold, Mr. Holm, and Ms. Sienna to make that a priority. So thank you to that group. Also, kudos to Dr. McCarthy and Dr. Lander and Mr. Butler. They worked hard to update the sound system at the high school stadium. The results are tremendous. I think parents and residents will love the results. And speaking of the stadium, of course, we have homecoming on October 1st. So I'm hoping to see everybody there for that. We have some special surprises and a new tradition where we are honoring our local heroes, active and retired military, police officers, firefighters, first responders. So that's just going to be a tremendous day. We're looking forward to that. And of course, go Eagles. We're looking for a victory that day. So thank you, Mr. Scarito.
Okay, 5 daily recognition awards at Barney and 5 new presentations. I want to thank Mr. Gagliardi, Dr. Reingold, Dr. DiMuzio for coming tonight. Dr. Murphy, is there any order you want to do?
We can just go in the order that they're on the agenda. So first up, I want to thank Mr. Gagliardi from Bretton Woods. He's going to come up to the mic and speak to the board a bit about Bretton Woods and the start of the school year. Thank you, Mr. Gagliardi.
Yes, no?
Yes. Please.
I'm going to test it out.
It's not meant for a...
Can I not use this?
The extra long one for you.
Things really tightened up. I want to thank you for these tight microphones that you have at Hauppauge. So thanks for having us here tonight. The year is starting off amazing, very smooth. Dr. Murphy said the buildings look amazing. Board members walked through with us a couple of weeks ago. It's really in great shape, and thanks to our custodial crew for making that happen. Worked really hard over the summer and really stuffed it up. And things are back in order and back to normal. I think the biggest thing for me to share with everyone is just to work with the teachers. The rooms look amazing. I know how pumped they were to put them back to normal with carpets and table groups, and they are just so warm and inviting. The teachers, just when I thought they had a level of excellence, they raised it, fivefold. They look amazing. They're so warm and colorful and bright. So I know our students are happy to be back with the way they were. And I'm tired of using the word normal, but that's exactly where we are. So thanks to everybody involved in that. We all had our open houses last week already. That was last week. All ran smooth. You can see the parents coming in all pumped up, excited to be back in the building, back in the classroom, seeing the teachers. Super night. We're having book fairs. I know actually mine's tonight, the evening book fair. So back in the gym. We were all being creative last year with outside book fairs and tents and all that. We're not doing that anymore. They're in the building, rocking and rolling. So that's going on.
It's a beautiful new playground.
Yeah. You took my next point of that. Mr. Cerrito, come on up. You can make the presentation for the elementary principals. But yes, thank you for reminding me of that. Each of us have beautiful playgrounds. The kids are loving them. So thank you, Board of Education, for putting that together for us. They're awesome. We have those soft floors, which are great for safety. New swing sets. They look amazing. The kids are just all over them and having fun, especially like the spinny thing. So thank you for that. So thank you. We're really rolling, and a very, very smooth opening. So I'll let my colleagues jump in there and hit whatever I missed. So I don't know who's next up on the.
Yep,
And
thank
just
you.
one
Okay.
and just one last point. All the buildings have our music programs have started, lessons have started, and within the next week or so, starting in October, we're going to have all our clubs are going to be rolling. So we're getting our kids busy with all those extracurricular type activities. So excited and looking forward to a great year. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Dr. Reingold?
It's really the same sentiments as what Mr. Gagliardi said. I mean, it's been a very, very smooth start to the school year. I think the kids were most excited to return without any restrictions, rugs, small group tables, parents in. We've had so many birthday surprise readers in, field trips, assemblies, the list goes on and on. But definitely our most exciting event so far, similar to Bretton Woods, and I'm sure the Pines, is our new playground. 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders absolutely love it. We can fit all the students on there. There are so many elements and components, including that spinning thing, that they adore. So thank you for that. Also, the final wing of our roof was completed, not nearly as exciting as the playground, but just as necessary. So that finally got completed. I did want to just offer thanks to Mrs. Sienna for her role, her new role as the transportation liaison. She's been a tremendous support to us this year as we transition to this new department. And, you know, with all the little expected bumps that, you know, we have at the beginning of every year, she's been with us every step of the way. So kudos to Mrs. Sienna, who I think will probably be driving a bus soon with all the experience she's getting. Also, someone else new to our team that I did want to thank is Dr. Smalley. He has jumped right in as our new security director, and he's already been over to observe arrival. He'll be coming to see dismissal tomorrow. He's going to be observing some of our drills. And I know I can probably speak for the three of us when I say that we appreciate his expertise and background as an elementary principal also. Just that new lens on increasing student safety is so valuable. So thank you for all you've done for us, and I'm sure we'll continue to do. So we just wanted to say thank you for continuing to support us, and it's just a great place to be, a great place to work, and I know we're off to a great start and going to have a wonderful school year. So, thank you.
Thank you. Back to DeBusio.
Thank you. So this, of course, is going to be a little bit of a repetition of what you just heard as well, but we'll do it Pine style. So we do not only have one new playground, we have 2 new playgrounds and swings. So we feel very fortunate to be there. Students once said to me, "This is like Disney World." So I thought that captured the student excitement about the new playground perfectly. We also have a new gymnasium floor, which is beautiful and was redesigned with a more sporty logo. Students love the new environment, and the physical education teachers are really excited as well. Overall, there's just a real great energy throughout the whole building. We have 3rd grade upstairs now, so we were able to restructure things the way that we had imagined them, because as you recall, several years ago, we did not have an elevator that was working properly, and we had to keep classrooms open on the 1st floor because students would be injured, and I would have to move a classroom in a minute downstairs and have that room up and running for students. So we no longer had to do that a couple of years ago, And then COVID came and we had to redo everything. So we were able this year to put things back the way that we had imagined them just a couple of years ago with our new elevator, now third grade upstairs, a separate wing for our pre-K students. Everyone is where I had dreamed that they could be. So that's very, very exciting as well. We also I want to thank all of the staff members that made this year and this opening possible. Of course, the Pines teachers, the support staff, my clerical workers, our custodian staff, our PTA, and just our parent community. We've had so many volunteers. We've had so many people going out of their way to do little things, big things to get this year off at a really exciting pace and a really meaningful pace. We've had all of our committee meetings for the most part. We have people really invested in the committees that they're on. We've had our safety team meeting. We've had a couple of updates, thanks to the board as well, for our new safety blue lights, and we have the Rave app, and we have the visitor management system in place. So we're working all of those things out, and Dr. Smalley has been part of that as well. So that has been a really great adjustment because now we're seeing a lot more traffic in the building. Today we kicked off our book fair, and we were just really grateful to see things, going very well and able to use the new systems and have everything working the way that it needed to be. So I think when you come by, you're gonna see what I just explained in person, and I just encourage people to visit and talk, so thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Smalley.
Any members have any questions for our great princess? I just have a couple comments. I'm out in the community 7 days a week, and I just can't tell you how great the rave reviews you people have from it. Principals, the teachers, some of the comments that sold the house recently here. But they said you guys are cut above the rest. So I think you guys did great. So I think you guys did fantastic.
Very fortunate.
So,
They should get commission off the house. The house is the reason they're coming.
yeah, so we're going to be moving on to another presentation. So I'd like to thank the principals for coming
Thank you very much.
tonight. Thanks for coming.
So tonight we have two very important people with us from Northwell Health, Dr. Vera Fuhr, Medical Director of Mineola Rockville Center, Comac Behavioral Health Centers for Northwell. Also her colleague Bianca Delgado, Administrative Director at Comac Mineola Rockville Center, Behavioral Health Centers. We're so excited to learn and to share with the community about our new partnership with Northwell and adding this additional layer of support for our students and our community as well. So please give a listen, and at the end we'll open for questions.
Thank you, and thank you for having us. It's so nice to hear about how much excitement and energy is in the room, and new playground equipment, and elementary school principals that are enthusiastic about managing their schools is going to be a way when one day maybe you won't need us. But for now, we are going to talk about our partnership, how it came about, and what it hopes to help your community with. So I'm going to start by talking really about the continuum of mental health needs that we try to help address within each district that we work with and each community that we work with. And it really, even though a lot of the talk, and we are going to talk about the behavioral health center that's in Comac and how families can access care there, but really the bottom of this pyramid is really important as well, and that is about working with the community, engaging the community, helping support school efforts to support the students within the buildings, efforts supporting parents to support positive and resilient parenting and help with prevention efforts overall district-wide. Also in the base of the pyramid is our professional development sessions, which we have built through the years, a really robust schedule for your counselors, your school psychologists, your social workers, your teachers, your faculty, where they can attend sessions and receive credits on topics both that are mandated by New York State and they have to get training on, as well as topics that they tell us that is really relevant to their day-to-day work, that they want to learn more about, they want to hear more about. So we create the content of the professional development session based on that. The top of the pyramid is where I'm going to go next, because the Behavioral Health Center, which is the new clinical service that Cohen's Children's Medical Center had opened in Comac, which is dedicated to currently 6 partnering school districts, among them yours, and the families that reside within those districts. This is an important distinction. It's not just families that attend the public schools, it's also families who reside here and attend private schools as well. And the Behavioral Health Center serves 2 major functions. One is it's immediate access for kids that are in crisis, that need really urgent assessment, where there's a need that's identified, or maybe previously they went to a more hospital-based setting for an assessment. Now they can come to the office that we have and get assessed there by the child psychiatrist, and have a plan made of what they need. And they maybe need the hospital, although I'll tell you it's a very low % of children that we see that need the hospital, or they need follow-up care. And then most of the time, that is what families need, is getting connected with ongoing care. Right now in our care continuum, and unfortunately COVID just made this worse, as you might know or might have heard or read in the many articles that are being written about this topic. Youth mental health and access to mental health services has been particularly difficult. And so the second function of the center is not just to meet the students that are in immediate crisis, but also to help fill that gap that currently exists between somebody having symptoms or having concerns, having anxiety, stress, depressive symptoms, whatever they are, having identified a problem, and then not being able to connect to care for several months. So those students as well can get access to the Behavioral Health Center, get assessed there, get some immediate help if they need that, and get connected to ongoing care. So that's a really important thing to remember. The Behavioral Health Center, again, can be accessed by families directly without being referred by the school, or by the school clinical staff or administrative staff making a recommendation of a referral. It works both ways. Either way, we can only communicate with school staff if the parents provide us with consent. Like any other health care that a child receives, the care that we provide at the Behavioral Health Center is part of our physician practice. So it's protected by HIPAA, which is distinct from the school privacy rules. It is health protection rules that apply, and records of the visit get documented in the student's medical record, to which parents have access to and school does not. We will work with families to help us collaborate, because we do believe that in most cases, when we collaborate with your school clinicians and support a family together, we can get better results. And so we think clinically that's important. But really, it is up to each family what they wish to do. I'm going to move on. Just to show the map, this is our current program. So in dark blue, we have the Mineola Behavioral Health Center, which was mentioned. In the light blue, the districts that are served by the Rockville Center Behavioral Health Center. And then in green, we have our colleagues at South Oaks Hospital partnering with schools, doing a different model of consultations to the school districts. That's also available to you guys on an as-needed basis, that if a district needs a psychiatrist to come and do an assessment for various reasons and for recommendations, that can be requested as well. And then you can see the 6 districts circled there in Suffolk County and our first site in Comac. Yeah, because I'll tell you guys about.
So we opened September 1st. We've seen students, we see the pace kind of picking up as the weeks tick on, which is exciting. We've also had some really good collaboration with the schools, right? Learning about our services, who's appropriate, who needs recommendations. We've had counselors calling to speak with our clinicians, kind of triage, what are the next best steps. And so that's been really exciting to have, that input, that collaboration, and it's, a learning process for everyone as we, figure out how to best utilize the services, right? So we opened in Comac. We're open currently from Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 5:30. That being said, one of our sites are always open till 8. So if there is a crisis and a student needs to be seen, we can absolutely work to accommodate them between our locations, and that could be either in person or virtually. So we want to make sure that there's access. We have our contact information, phone number, fax, and email located up for you guys. Like Dr. Boyer said, students are able to call with their families to make appointments, right? It's great if we have a referral from the school, but it's not necessary. We've also even started talking to, pediatricians, right? So if you have a student that you identify has a need, let's work together to make sure that they're getting access to care. We understand how frustrating it can be to try to get connected, and we want to kind of help mitigate that issue.
Yeah, so the 6 districts that are participating were they're the first districts to join this Suffolk Consortium. An important feature of these partnerships is also the school districts working together. We meet regularly. Tomorrow is our first Suffolk County meeting with these district teams. And that collaboration can be really important and powerful. I think school staff have reported how helpful that has been for them, sharing best practices, ideas, sort of talking about what are some patterns that we're all seeing and collaborating on that. So our regular monthly meetings are spent with that collaboration together with the districts. Very quickly to go over just how quickly and how much need there is in these communities. As soon as we get open, the blue year was COVID, and we got started just before COVID, and then everybody was closed, so families were not coming for care at the offices or at the hospital, right? Everybody was, obviously dealing with the lockdown. And then the volume really last year had started to increase, particularly after we opened our second office in Mineola, and then it gradually increased. And we see that everywhere. The community learns about the service, the school counselors learn how to refer and utilize the service best, so utilization we expect to increase as we go. And in emergency crisis psychiatry, which is my domain, I've been 15 years in the Children's Hospital, we always have a cyclical pattern to the year in that when the school year is on, we get more referrals, and the summer they go down, and as soon as school starts, like you can see that double wave on the graph there, that's every year on every service. All our acute care services. So we have seen a lot of students. We have seen now, this is end of August, now we're mid-September, we're probably up to about 3,400, 3,500 students overall in all of our districts. So we'll have data and detailed information for you guys about your district's utilization and sharing the general numbers about how many students are accessing the service, how many self-refer, how many refer by the school, how many are we able to successfully get into services, and what is the utilization of the service, how is your community benefiting from it. Quickly, I'll talk about this, and then Bianca can talk about the community's benefits. So for staff, and we review this with the staff, we do have a lot of benefits to the program beyond being able to refer students, which is also helpful, but also having these monthly meetings, We, in addition, have an Ask the Expert series where we invite experts from the field to talk about their unique programs, their area of expertise. Our first one in January is going to be our anxiety and OCD expert from Zucker Hillside Hospital. She's going to come and talk to the school staff about some of her expert areas. We have an advisory board that your district's leadership will participate in that meets regularly to give feedback about the program, get feedback mutually and help shape the program. A lot of our changes and additions in the last 2.5 years were made by the advisory board. And then we do provide staff support. We'll start working with your school PPS teams and then hoping to eventually work with your teachers and other school staff about how to manage stress and how to support each other, how to have a resilient faculty and staff, which is what we have done in our health system also to support healthcare workers. And then we have the already mentioned professional development sessions, and all of this gets sent out to staff in monthly newsletters, so they have one central piece of information. And then for the community.
So we have community education that we do. So anyone from the district, the families can join in. It's done online, so it's accessible. We try to do it towards either the end of the day, like a time around this, but we will also be doing lunch and learns. So we have one that will be coming up based on social media use and how do we support our students in that. We do a positive parenting series, right? So, you know, when we work with kids, we want to make sure that their families have the tools to support them, right? We can all benefit from, you know, positive strategies and really taking the time to kind of learn about it, engage, ask questions. So we also do newsletters for the community. They can, here we go, perfect. We have a perfect example here, and there are some in the back, so if you want to take them on your way out, please do. This just gives what's coming up, what are the tips, and you know, it's a way to engage.
It's again a central repository of information for your community. Many districts choose to put it on their website for parents who are easily able to access it. It has a lot of hyperlinks to different resources, the recorded sessions of our parenting series that's online, so on and so forth, all the information that parents could use. And supporting your child's healthy screen habits is our next 2 community education sessions. There are going to be lunch and learn, Zoom workshops that people can register for. And really, again, community education, the goal is to really help support parents in general, to support healthy, resilient parenting. So we'll stop there to see if you guys have questions. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, ladies. Any community members have any questions?
Yeah, I'm just curious, so when do we decide this and what is the relationship with Northwell? Is that like a county thing, is that a local thing, like, who is that voted on?
It's part of the budget from the spring.
Okay, and so what do you do before? Because I know if there's an issue with your child, typically they might go to the guidance counselor, but it is my responsibility to make sure that the kids healthy mentally, and I take my son or daughter to the therapist, so where does your involvement come in?
So, I mean, what you did before, I'm going to defer to the school because I'm not sure what the school did before. I don't know if you want to first answer that, and then I'll.
Okay. And I guess my question would be like, how do you know?
Sure, so our counselors are still working with students in school and supporting students in school. Some students present with more severe behavioral mental health issues,
Okay.
right, that are beyond the scope of maybe what we can handle in school.
Okay.
And they even have a hard time, some of them, coming to school and coping in school, right? So the partnership is really to support our students as a whole child, all students, in school as well as out of school. Because most of the time, if you're having problems in school, you're having problems outside of school, right?
So what is the benefits to me?
So in the past, let's say a good part of the students that come to us in the past would have gone to the emergency department or a hospital because let's say they may, there's a concern of risk often that the school discovers. Let's say self-injurious behavior, suicidal statement, whatever other concern comes, or like Rebecca saying, a student that has high level of anxiety, depression, not able to attend school because of it. Previously, some of these students would have been sent to the hospital, traditionally by most schools, and I assume here as well, or counselors try to support families and find linkage into the community. Currently, that takes about 3 to 6 months to find somebody. So if you are here today as a parent with a need to support your child now, because let's say something happened and they're anxious or having panic, whatever it is, then the school counselor, instead of giving you, unless you call your insurance company, now has the opportunity to say, we can refer you here, they can see you tomorrow, they see the child psychiatrist, you can get an assessment. If it's a risk crisis situation, we can do that immediately, again, instead of the hospital. And we have seen our school districts that we're working with in Nassau County send 60% less students to the hospital. So that's really one of the primary goals, is to allow families to engage with this care. In a setting, yes, it's another resource, and we're hoping that it's a more meaningful one, because often what happens in ER is you have a very unpleasant experience, your child has an unpleasant experience, and I often hear from kids in the ER, I'm never telling anybody ever again. And so we want to avoid that. We want to be able to engage families and children in a setting that's familiar. It looks like an office. It's a pediatric office. It's colorful. It's comfortable. Where you can come, where you can do the assessment, not in a crazy ER setting, where we can figure out what your child needs and then do our best to help specifically directly. So oftentimes we can be more specific than your child needs therapist. We'll say your child needs this kind of therapy, and these are the people who we will take your insurance and will try to coordinate. And if kids need immediate help, there are kids that we see that will need immediate counseling because they're in a crisis, or will need medication. The symptoms are at the level where they need to start medicine. So of course, everything with consent of parents and discussing risk benefit like we do in any physician visit, that gets discussed, and that can be provided temporarily until we're able to improve the ongoing care. Because again, the need is too late. 6 months, 3 to 6 months to wait for care is too long. We want to avoid having things.
You're covered, right?
That's been a big problem in the past with kids in crisis.
Yeah, no, so because we're part of the community and they were in the district, this is,
Well,
she's paid for, as opposed to using my insurance to go to some private.
No, so not entirely.
Sorry, I understand.
no, go ahead.
No, not entirely, so yes and no. The whole part, what we just listed as all the various things that we're doing, including the professional development, the education, the support, the working with the schools together, plus this dedicated access, all together, the school contributes towards the cost. It doesn't cover the cost, we still build insurance to the extent that it exists. If you don't have insurance, we still see you. Nobody pays more than a co-pay amount. If you have a high deductible plan, you reduce the payment because of the partnership we're able to do.
Really, it's just another resource for us to go to, over and above maybe what we would.
It's another resource, and we're hoping it's going to be a meaningful one in that by addressing again all layers that will work together and help lead this support network around.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
other community members have any questions?
Is you mentioned there's a monthly meeting, so who's part of this community meeting that needs to?
So the monthly meeting is currently for the staff, for the school counselors, psychology, social workers, right now. We are actually this year hoping to recruit for and establish a parent and youth advisory council for the overall partnership, because we do want to integrate, parents and kids' voices in all of this, and what is helpful, what is not helpful. So I guess if there's interest, be on the lookout for that. We communicate anything that gets communicated to the community is through the school. So obviously we don't have access to the community's information, so we communicate with the school and they distribute the information. Often through the website.
Any other community members? Yes.
I'm just curious, parents that actually come to us. It's one thing, used to, I don't do that, so years ago. From WDB, so it was,
Yes.
there we go. That was what they were- yeah, that's not every. I said, you should have- that's what it does. That's what it was, okay?
Yes.
It's just, don't, I found one guy, was it? He said, I gave you, he says, we go to St. Charles House. I wait a couple of months, 2 months, I'll do this. So you guys do ADOS and all that?
Yes, so we ourselves do not do the ADOS, but we do have resources where we can refer. We have ABA referrals, we have resources, we have helped families work with OPWDD to get the process started, because it's a lengthy process. We have peer management coordinators that work with the families and sort of get them connected with what they need. And we can temporarily prescribe. If somebody is in crisis, even if they're on the spectrum, if we think that they need medication, they'll start prescribing on those.
Any of the community, any board members have any questions? I have a question, Dr. Maybe our friend Tina, I don't know if this is there any reason not to put their information on our website as a resource for our community members? Is there any reason not to? Because I wouldn't know where to look for the phone number, I wouldn't know where to call if I needed.
We definitely want our parents to have access to all of the partnerships, so absolutely. If it's already on there, yeah, absolutely.
And you guys, many of the Nassau County districts do have it on their websites, and they came up with different headings, different ways to find it. So I can send some.
We'll
We have a
make it easy to
whole
find.
list of mental health resources listed
Yeah.
under on our people personnel website, so anyone can feel free to check out that.
Wellness tab or healthcare tab or.
I'll put all the updated COMAC information on there. I might have already done it, but I'll make sure.
Ladies, I want to
Thank you so much, yes.
Very nice evening, thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you. We'll move on to 5C, the adoption of minutes. This is meeting of August 23rd, 2022. Thank you, Dr. Crafter, for the motion. Mr. Buckner for the second. Any discussion? All those in favor? 5-0-2. We're going to move on to number 6. Any questions? Number 6, any questions and comments on tonight's agenda only from the community? Yes.
7.1D, the agreement, the basis of that agreement? Did we get the basis? Disciplinary, monetarily, things like that.
Well, that's a confidential settlement of a student disciplinary matter, which we cannot discuss publicly.
Does it, once you agree on it, does it become public record? No.
No, it does not. It can be foiled and perhaps portions will be released when redacted. We certainly cannot identify any of the students involved.
I'm not asking for an identification of the student because you got a number next to it. It's just the agreement itself we're agreeing to. Whether it's monetary, disciplinary.
Parts of it may be subject to FOIL, but it would have to be with severe redaction in order to protect the privacy of the students.
Duly noted.
Are there any other questions? Move on to the consent agenda. Do any board members in 7.1, in 7.4, anybody wants to separate? Jim, thank you for the motion. And, Mrs. Gibbons, second. Any discussion on the consent agenda? All those in favor? So it's 5-0.
So, just for a moment, part of the consent agenda included tenure for someone in the audience. So I'd like to recognize Kathleen, who's a teaching assistant in our district, and congratulate her for her tenure.
There are no new policies. Number 8. I'm going to ask our district clerk Lori to put in the next meeting the committee reports. Members? Any new discussion matters from the board? Any new business?
Not from us.
I just want to comment again, I have students going to Hauppauge schools, and I think the schools are doing a great job. I got to thank our security, I got to thank the staff, the teachers, the principals that came tonight, the principals that were not here. Hauppauge is really on the map, and I appreciate that everybody that's involved in our school helps run the way it runs. I appreciate it. Number 12, any questions or comments from the community? Anything? Yes. Sure. Thank you.
I've already talked to Dr. Murphy about this, but I just want to thank everyone. My name is Jenny Miner. My daughter's in 11th grade and is in Germany right now. And I just want to thank everyone for allowing me. She's FaceTiming me, texting me every day. They are having a great time in Germany.
She's a little cold though, you said, right?
She did not pack properly, and she had to buy a jacket. But they met the mayor today of the town, which was really cool, and it was really nice. And they, she said, I don't know how none of the people here are obese. All they eat is bread and sweets. I'm like, because you walk everywhere. She's like, yeah, that's true. But amazing. They're just the schools. They've been going to school with the kids every day, and she's like, I don't know what's going on because they talk really fast German, and I can't understand a word of it, but it's fun. So
Thank you so much for
thank you
sharing
all
this.
It was amazing, amazing opportunity for them.
Hey.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
There wasn't anything else.
I just want to remind everybody again, October 1st for the homecoming, the first responders, your nurses, your police, your firemen. Let's make Hauppauge proud. We got to be out there and thank all these people that have done an amazing job the last couple of years for us. I want to thank all the audience for coming. Thank you very much. Can I get a motion for an adjournment? Grab. Vice Mayor, a second. Any discussion? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Our next business meeting will be Tuesday, October 18th. We'll be discussing how our football team did very well October 1st.
Yes. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you.
Congratulations. Steve.